making life a little bit simpler. Just feel a little bit simpler, especially when it comes to taking care of yourself and taking care of your health. My name's Steph. I am a wellness and nutrition coach, or as I like to say, your self-love nutrition coach, who's going to help you to focus on improving your nutrition and your healthy habits from a place of love, not from restriction, but from abundance. If you want to know more about that, go to the link in my bio, scope out the channel, all that good stuff. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about essentialism and simplifying your life just a little bit. I've been really on a kick of this for a little while. I interviewed on the podcast this week Gabe Bolt, who hosts a YouTube channel with amazing videos on minimalism, essentialism, minimalism and work and your finances, minimalism or habit building and your health. A lot on creating financial freedom and financial independence, about improving your money habits and your procrastination habits, all that stuff. So I interviewed him on Monday, or for Monday's episode, and it was like so valuable to me as a person. I felt like I was getting a mini coaching session myself, so that was pretty cool. So I'd like to chat a little bit about that. If you're watching this as a recording, let me know too, like if you listen to the podcast, and if you have any questions or thoughts about that, because I can always come back and follow up. So if you're here, what we used to do on coffee chats is say good morning. I'm playing with my hair because it looks like I need dry shampoo, but anyway, good morning. If you're here, let me know that you're watching. I always ask, did you listen to the podcast? And what are you drinking this morning for your coffee chat moment? I am drinking Irish cream coffee from New Day Coffee Roasters. If you're from Western New York, that's in Wheatfield. But we carry them at Wellness in the Village, my shop in Alden. So love some New Day coffee, and in the Irish cream spirit, I guess now. Really only for the month. I'm actually very fickle with coffee flavors when it's like that. Like I follow that. I drink pumpkin spice in the fall, and I drink peppermint mocha in the around the holidays, and then I'm just lost for January, February, and I go to the Irish cream. Okay, so definitely a coffee seasonal person. So yeah, let me know if you're here. Say good morning. Let me know if you listened to the episode, if you have any thoughts on that, and what you're drinking this morning. Hello, good morning. Just getting ready for school, getting kids ready for school. Oh, so nothing yet. All right, maybe some water. Maybe, have that coffee water going. You got this. Yeah. Okay, so on the podcast, I mentioned a book I've been reading. Good morning, Tea with Soy Milk. I feel like you're meant to be British. I think that would fit you well. I mentioned this book on the podcast, and I'm really a big fan of it. I sat on there. I got to maybe page 7, and I was like, okay, this will probably be the best book I read this year. And this is called Essentialism. The author is Greg McKeown, and I can link that. I'll link to Gabe and stuff in the caption too, but I will also put this book info. It's a really simple read. It's very logical, but oh my gosh, does it make so much sense when it talks about basically this big idea is a non-essentialist thinks almost everything is essential. An essentialist thinks almost everything is non-essential. That was basically the focus, or an overall theme of the interview that I did with Gabe on Monday. Kind of looking at the idea that we think sometimes in order to be successful, we have to do everything. By we, I mean I of the past. I'm a recovering overachiever. So think that we have to do everything in order to be successful. Or we think that the people who are successful are the ones who are doing more. There's this hustle culture. There's this celebration of busy, or celebration of people who are working themselves to the bone. And the idea with essentialism is that we need to start valuing only a few small things that are truly allowing our lives to be better, and then give ourselves time to be human all the other times. So we're not actually robots, or you're not a hamster on a wheel. You're not meant to just keep going and going. You're meant to be a person with breath and time and space and connection and relationship and joy. You're meant to be that human person. And there's really just a few things that you have to do and do better, do well, in order to actually feel success, or set your own sense of success in your life. And even if your own sense of success is, well, I want to work hard and I have all these, big lofty career goals or something, the system still applies, because you're going to take your energy and put it into something specific. So there's a great drawing, and then I want to go back to the podcast and see if you guys have any questions or thoughts about that episode. But this is connected because we're talking about on the podcast the idea of minimalism and essentialism. But I think it applies to so many areas of our life, and I want to go a lot deeper on this topic this year, I think. Let me talk to you about how it connects to health in 1 second. But the idea with essentialism, again, is that we don't need, everything's not important. We're going to view most things as unimportant and just an essential few as important, because we have a finite amount of energy. So let's imagine this much. Okay, so you have this much energy inside you. And if you are dispersing that energy among a lot of things, because you say yes to everything, you can't say no. You have a lot of shiny object syndrome, like you see something new and you want to go do it. Your energy, this is your finite amount of energy, it can only go this far. Okay. If you have the same finite amount of energy, but you channel that into 1 or 2 things that are really essential to your life or your joy or your health or your happiness or your career, but you funnel that energy into 1 or 2 places, instead of it being dispersed like this, imagine all of my fingers stacked up on top of each other, it's going to be just one straight shot toward your success or toward your result. So we can apply that to our health goals. I can think of a few different ways that I would think about applying essentialism to our health goals. One being, people tend to overcomplicate what it is to take care of yourself. And we tend to have an all or nothing mindset when it comes to, am I healthy or not? Am I caring for myself or not? And I actually have to leave Facebook groups or groups like that all the time that I think are going to be helpful networking or learning groups, but I have to leave all the time because I see people, just for myself because it annoys me, I see people getting caught up in little details of things, like their toothpaste. Now, if you are to the point where you've refined so much in your life that you are moving on to your personal care products and you're looking at, removing toxins or going more natural, whatever, wonderful. But I see people who are caught up in little details like, is there this in my toothpaste? Or I can only drink this kind of water, or I have to include these kinds of herbs. Or I'm worried about, or non-organic raspberries, very specific little things that people like to put their energy into, thinking, oh, I'm worried about being healthy, I should worry about that. But their overall patterns of life are not including loads of nutritious foods, fruits and vegetables, patterns of consistent, regular movement, fresh air, positive thinking, and care for their mental health. It's not including these big things. It's kind of fixating on the little details. And I see people do that in health and wellness or in pursuit of being healthy all of the time. So I would encourage you, point 1 here with being more simplified with our health goals, is that I would encourage you, instead of thinking, okay, how am I going to keep track of a bajillion little things that I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to remove from my environment, or I'm supposed to change. Instead of being either distracted or bogged down by all the little things and feeling like I have to do it all, I'm going to focus on the big stuff, the big strokes, the things that are going to make the most impact. Because maybe changing my toothpaste will help with my health over the long run. Maybe. But that's one little thing. I do know that if I put my energy and effort and focus and mindset into exercising every day, that is going to undoubtedly have an impact on my life long term. So we're looking at big ideas instead of getting caught up in the small details. Throw some hearts if you agree. Do you have any thoughts or questions about this? Are there any things you feel yourself getting hung up on? Okay, so that's the first point. We're going to focus our health energy on the big things, the things that are going to matter the most. The second way that I think essentialism, or a symbolism, it's not really a word, simplifying, minimalism, essentialism, another way that I think that applies to our health goals is how we focus our goal energy. So there's one thing that says, okay, I don't want to just get distracted by other things, but there's also other things that say, when it comes to our health and wanting to be healthier, sometimes people feel like they're riding a wave, they've got all this momentum, they're going to make all the changes. And so again, finite amount of energy to work on your health goals. All the changes that you want to make, your impact is only reaching this far. What if you were to say, I really want to be healthier, but I am going to pour myself into eating vegetables. One thing. I'm going to focus my energy on it. I'm going to put my mindset on it. I'm going to make strategies for it. I'm going to get it really well integrated. Okay, well now your finite amount of energy I can put toward my health goals this week, instead of going in a million directions, is going to be focused into one that you can be successful at, that you can go far at, that you can turn into a long-term habit. And then you don't have to apply any of your energy for it anymore. It already happens. Then you can take your health and wellness energy, pick from your other ideas, and let that idea, like, I feel like I'm signing this idea to you, but like I'm trying to, the visual, I hope this makes sense. Like, let me know in the comments if this idea is making sense, that I want you to take your health goal energy and channel it into one direct channel that's going to dig really deep, become a successful habit, and then we'll pick another thing to work on. This is the kind of stuff I do with my clients. This is the way that I would teach you to apply healthy eating habits through my Eat Well with Steph program and course. This is the kind of talk about goals and goal setting that we do. We also talk a lot about, of course, the mindset behind it and what physically, what foods and how we're going to balance them. We talk about that actual like structure and strategy, but then this goal setting stuff and the mindset around the fact that I can't do it all at once. And I don't have to make every single health recommendation that everyone on the internet makes to me. I can channel my energy into the goals and the habits that I know are going to gain the most traction in my life. Whew. Okay. I'm going to pause there for a second so you can let me know in the comments if you listen to the podcast. And I'm going to check the comments here too. How is this feeling to you? Does it make sense that we have to be specific? Is that hard to do? Sometimes I feel like people say it's hard to be that concentrated in your efforts because it's easy to get distracted by another great idea. I'm not saying that to want to pursue all areas of your health or to improve all areas of your health is bad. It's not. It's a wonderful, beautiful, lofty goal you can probably get to eventually if you do one of the things at a time, or maybe two if they're vastly different. You should have those big goals of transforming your health. Why not? It's good to want to grow. But I want to see you do it successfully. And you're going to see me post a post a little later, probably a little later today or tomorrow morning, that is why I believe your health goals aren't successful. Or if you're not reaching your health goals, things that really you might need to take a look at. Because we all have them. A whole bunch of people set New Year's resolutions this year, or set intentions. People are like, I don't like the word resolution. I set intentions. Okay, whatever word you pick. Lots of people said to themselves, I really want to make some healthy changes this year. Or they said to themselves, next year, I don't want to feel like this. It's cool to say it out loud, but if you are not making an action plan for how specifically you are going to do things to get to the result you want, it doesn't happen. It's just the reality. Like I know there are already resolutions or intentions or ideas I had for this year that simply aren't happening. And that is through exactly zero fault or nobody. It's mine. I just didn't put a plan in place. And that's fine. Maybe I'll do it later in the year. Maybe it will determine that those things aren't a priority and they were just great ideas, but they're not priorities for right now. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But the reality is I am only going to achieve that goal if I make a plan that is smart. And again, I'm going to share posts about this coming up because I'm just feeling like I'm seeing people continually have good intentions, but not follow through and not get the results they're looking for. So definitely, I'm going to be talking a lot more about that. Okay, some comments coming in here. Let's see. This one said, oh, okay, this was about simplifying energy. When I said you can focus on all of the things that could possibly help your health, or you can focus your intention on one thing and dig really deep on that. And this comment was eat whole foods, eat plants. What's that quote? Eat food, not too much. Mostly plants. Okay. Well, if you're putting all your health and wellness energy on, I'm going to prioritize whole foods. I'm going to prioritize whole plant foods. You're going to be very aware of it and do it in all the areas of your life. Then you're just going to be a person who eats mostly those foods. Then you can focus on something else. Okay. Yes, listen to the podcast. Love, big fan of Gabe. Love this topic. Thank you. I have been following him on YouTube for a little while. Really, you guys have to check him out on YouTube. I hope people listen to the podcast because it was so good about his nonchalance about you just gotta take stuff off your calendar. You just gotta take stuff off your list. That's the only way to do this, is to not let yourself be overbooked. You make your calendar. I'm like, yep, sure do. But when we think about that, you make the calendar, you make the shopping list, you make the meal plan, you make the decisions for you and your life or your household. You make those choices. So it's just a series of choices. If there's too much on your calendar, it's because you put it on your calendar. You gotta take something off. You pick. If you don't like the food that you're eating or the food that's in your house, you have to buy something different. You have to do an action in order to get the result you want. What's that thing that's don't be upset about the results you don't have from the work you didn't do. I'm going to start saying that to my 5th graders. If any of you are watching, you can't complain about the results you don't have from the work you did not do. All right, another one here. So I used to watch, comment says, I used to watch 3 wellness podcasts a week. And after a month or so, I felt overwhelmed as heck because each person's podcast had different subtopics within wellness and I wasn't retaining. Yes. Yeah. It's a slippery slope because also wellness practitioners are interested in all of the things and want to share all the things, but it tends to be too wide of a net for people. Actually, something I've been looking at with my podcast this year, it's funny you say that, is kind of moving in mini series or shifts. So kind of see a bunch of topics that go together coming out at the same time. So there might be a few episodes about mindset, and we'll go through a whole mindset shift for a few episodes, and then a few about whole food eating, and go through a whole little shift or series of those, because it is hard to focus our energy. And you're right, we're not retaining it. It's the same thing when we set 12 health goals at once. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna start moving every day and eating better, and I'm gonna drink a lot more water and take my supplements and go to bed early. Cool. Good luck keeping track of that. Good luck getting that in your mindset and building all those habits at once. It's not going to happen because we're overwhelmed. Our brain is overwhelmed. Our habits, the flow of our lives, we don't know what to do. So we don't. If you have one focus at a time, you understand your expectation you're putting on yourself. Okay. And the planning so important. The tracking so important. I'm excited to share this post with you guys later. If you see it and you can give it a share, really appreciate that, because I'm tired of seeing people taking on too much when it comes to their goals and then feeling like they can't do them. It's not that you can't do hard things. You can do anything that you want to, but you need to have a plan and a system and a way to keep track of it and a way to tell if you're growing. That's just smart planning. Okay. It's just knowledge. Okay. So thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting with me this morning. I hope that you find this topic interesting. I'm going to link to Gabe in the podcast episode and the book that I've been reading and the journal. I'll link to all the tools here. But I really hope that you will give this a share, give this a like when it's get posted, tag a friend. If you feel like you want to help continue to support free content on the internet, you can always go to the Buy Me a Coffee link and donate to Team Be Well with Steph. Always appreciated too. Lots of ways you can show support. You could leave a review or a rating on the podcast, especially if you're on Apple Podcasts. And yeah, thanks. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday and a good weekend. And talk to you soon. Be well.